People are driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. The hiring process can be slow and overwhelming. Simplify hiring with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform. With over 350 million global monthly visitors according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. That's Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome, my good people. Welcome to the CJ Moneyway Show. And I'm with your host, CJ Moneyway. Let's get it.
What's up, my good people? Welcome to the CJ Moneyway Show. Welcome to the show, author and sales marketing professor, Curt. What's going on, my man?
Hey, CJ. Thank you so much for letting me be on your show. I am super excited about connecting with you today.
Oh, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. I appreciate you coming on and share your wisdom, man, and the things that you have expertise in, man. I'm ready to hear what you have to say. So, Curt, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
You bet. So I've been in corporate America for about 4 decades now. I started a long time ago in my 20s. I thought I was going to be a computer programmer. And what happened was I was doing computer programming, and then pretty soon the programmers didn't want me around anymore because I was talking too much. So then they said, hey, why don't you train the people on the stuff that you're writing? So from generating computer code to training, moved me into sales. And from sales, I got into professional speaking because I just thought, man, that is what I wanted to do. And so for the last about 40 years, I was teaching, training, speaking. It's been a long journey, CJ. It's been very, very rewarding.
Oh, man, that's excellent. I couldn't believe that, Curt, man. I can't believe they say you talk too much, man.
You don't want an extrovert slinging code, because these guys are typically quiet and introverted.
That was funny. So, Curt, how did you get started in sales, and what has your journey of advancement has been in this field in your life?
So I was after I got done training on these programs I was writing for the automotive industry, I wanted to move to San Diego, California. And so I needed to find a new job. I found a great opportunity to do some work in the San Diego area in a complete inside and outside sales role. And what had happened was I was pretty good at what I was doing inside. This is back in the days where we didn't have a lot of internet. So it was a lot of phone work. And then my boss kind of promoted me to an outside role. And from there, I started selling different ideas and concepts in the computer technology and the computer hardware. And then I moved around. Our company got acquired. I moved to Portland, Oregon. I was managing some people and some processes there, and started selling some other things and started learning about professional speaking. And I thought, well, that's a sales job unto itself. You're trying to sell a company to hire you to be a speaker for fee to their company. And I didn't have 7 Olympic gold medals like John Neighbor did. I met him at a fundraiser, and I thought I wanted to be a professional speaker. I didn't have the big title like a Tony Robbins, but I had experience, and I just worked my way and I grinded my way through, networking along the way. And then I started moving into, we relocated to Houston, Texas, and did a lot of work for a company called DXP, which is an industrial distributor, where I managed their sales force for the first 10 years. And now I'm developing all of the sales content. So I've been there for 20 years developing sales content, and it's been what a journey, CJ. It's for a punk like me, I got a chance to swing the big bat.
Hey, man, I wouldn't call you a punk, man. You doing big things. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know a lot of punks that do things like that, man. That's funny, though. Curt, could you tell us about your career as a marketing professor?
You bet. It started by attending some kind of a trade show event. I heard a speaker in downtown Houston, and the guy needed a ride over to the University of Houston. His name was Dr. Eli Jones. And he said, hey, can anybody get me a ride? So I gave him a ride over, and I found out that he was interviewing one of these big speakers, and he was a teacher there. So I called him on the phone. I said, hey, I'm the guy that dropped you off. I was wondering, do you have any need for somebody speaking in your class? Well, long story short, I had a chance to guest speak in one of the classes, and then that instructor was moving on, and they asked me to fill that role. So I had the opportunity to become a college professor, if you will, teaching an intermediate and a beginning sales class in their program for excellence in selling. That led me to many, many years as teaching part-time, and I got the shot to teach at the graduate level. So I don't have a doctorate degree, and yet they saw my 25, 30 years of experience back then and said, we'd like you to teach a class in the graduate level. So I had that opportunity, and now I'm teaching in the summertime their marketing and sales class. So a heart of a teacher, and I get a chance to play in that sandbox all the time.
Man, that's pretty cool. Well, speaking of that too, man, so Curt, as a professor and, teaching sales and marketing at a major university, why should your students take your class?
Wow. CJ, you'll love this, but thanks to the internet, there are websites out there that rate people as a professor. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the students like me because I give out a lot of A's. Now, you can appreciate that. Here's a teacher who gives out an easy A. That's not a good reputation to have, but it's a sales class. Uh-huh. So I have to, test them on their ability to recall information, but also it's a sales class, and it's more of an active class. So teachers like the fact that I've got high energy. Students like the fact that I bring all that energy to the class, and I make kind of a boring, dry concept fun and easy to listen to.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to say this, man, just, how you say by happenstance, you came and picked up the guy and, say how you say that, in the beginning and how you ran into all these people, but you had experience, man. I wouldn't call that punkish at all, man. Hey, man, that's favor. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's favor. Yes, man.
That's favor, man. Just to be dropped in these positions, man, and just doing what you're doing, man. That's incredible, man. So, Curt, could you tell us about your program, Peak Sales Strategy?
You bet. Down here in Houston and everywhere I go in the country, I talk to a lot of small to medium businesses, and they have 1, 2, 5, 6 salespeople. Too small to have a sales manager, definitely too small to have formal sales training. So I developed, if you will, an online sales training. It's called Peak Sales Coaching, where somebody would come and pay, and then I would give them a few assessments and do a custom debriefing on that assessment. And then they'd go through a series of 3 Zoom-based calls where we would walk over the sales process, and they would get some sales training. The beauty of that is it's on their time. So I'm not coming out and trying to gobble up their time and charge this great big fee. I'm saying, look, here's the fee. Take the assessment. What days are good for you to meet? And let's carve that into your schedule and my schedule. So it's customized, and it's at their pace, and it's at their time. So it is an appealing program for the small, medium business.
So what can one who wanted to join your program, what could they find it at?
It's right there on my website, peaksalesstrategy.com. Real simple, peaksalesstrategy.com. It talks all about that information, and they can fill out the form or hit me up on my email, and I'd be more than happy to talk to them about that program.
Okay, cool. That sounds good. So, Curt, tell us a little bit about your book, man.
Yeah, 5 Stones for Slaying Giants. I wrote that book when I was doing my professional speaking and sales training full time, because I knew that as a speaker, you needed to have a book. just so you had back of the room sales, or maybe it was a lost leader to get you into a speaking gig. And I did a lot of research with business people, academics, and athletics. And I asked them, what are the common things that they have? And so I wrote the book, 5 Stones for Slaying Giants, based on 5 stones, if you will, to conquer. One is passion, and then excellence, vision, value, confidence. And I got that from the David and Goliath story, and I weave it in to the best of my ability, but I really try to create, how do you get passion? Where's that excellence come from? What's the vision you have? What value do you add? And how does that all wrap up in the confidence you need in order to make it successful in business and in personal life?
5 stones. Yeah, I would like to read this book myself. When you talk about the guy Goliath and David and Goliath story, I want to see how that's blended in into, sales strategy. That's a pretty interesting, concept right there, man. So, Curt, could you tell us a little bit about what your podcast is all about?
Yeah. At DXP, we have 347 outside sales pros, and we've got about 290 inside sales. So we got about 500 people. And I've created this idea of an internal podcast. So that these people who are driving around, they're on their phones, they're in their cars, they can tap in, get some information, maybe learn from people inside the company or even outside the company, and apply that so they could get better at prospecting, relationship development, how to handle angry customers, all those kind of things. So it's kind of if you will, it's a university in your car.
Okay. So how often are you airing, and where can we find it at?
Gosh, it's internal to the company, so it isn't outside the company.
Oh, okay.
And boy, I tell you, it's like what you're doing, CJ. You're a great podcast host. You have phenomenal questions. Sometimes it's hard to get good guests. And, we came together because of a mutual website, and I'm always looking for the connections.
Man, I appreciate the comment, man. I appreciate the comment. So, Curt, what is the Stevie Award, man?
So there's a group of people that created a sales and marketing award. You get nominated to it. It's international, so it's well respected within the sales and marketing world. And it's like an Emmy if you were an actor, or an Oscar or something of that nature. And I won a Stevie Award because of the sales development content that I have developed over the years. Was nominated by a couple of outside companies, went through the process of evaluation, and got that nomination, and then won the award.
So you said that the Stevie Award is equal or in value of the Oscar, and
I said it was like one. I didn't say it was equal.
No, I'm just saying, like, if it's that big of an award, man, to win that, something like that, that had to be a great feeling, man. So, just going off a little bit before I go to the next question. So what was that feeling like to win something of that nature?
It validated that everything I'd been doing up to that point actually was worth something. Sometimes you do your job, and whatever your job is, you don't feel like people are taking any notice of what you do. And so sometimes it's a grind. And when this award was awarded to me, man, that feeling was of an accomplishment. People in my peer group saw my work and said, that work is worthy of an award.
Man, that's cool. And I was just telling somebody the other day, the hardest thing it is to do when you're in any type of profession is to impress, is to impress your peers. And so when you impress your peers and people, that's looking up to you, that's on the same level that you are, or doing some of the same things that you're doing, that's pretty impressive, and it's really gratifying, So congratulations on that, man. I hope you have some more of those in the making, man.
I hope so too.
So, Curt, if you had to do it all over again, what would you do differently?
That's a great question, CJ, because the same question was asked in the late 80s of a group of people over 90 years old. And they asked those people, if you had it to do all over again, what would you do different? So I'm going to steal their answers, even though I'm not 90 years old. The the top 3 answers that they gave. These are people over 90 years old in the 80s. So they were born in the 1800s. And they got to see TV, color TV, airline flight, technology, leapfrog. They got to see a lot of things. 3 things they said is they would risk more, they would reflect more, and they would do more things that would outlast time. And I thought, okay, CJ, if you asked me that question, I would risk more. We only get one shot to do this thing. And I would, I don't want to do that. I'm afraid. I would risk it. I would reflect more, meaning that right now in 2024, we have a phone in our hand 24/7. We're constantly interrupted. There's constant pressure to compare ourselves with social media. There's almost no time to reflect. And so I would learn how to reflect more. Maybe it's meditation, maybe it's journaling, maybe it's just being quieter. And then what they said is they would do more things that would outlast time. Now, at 95 or 90 years old, that's a point of reflection. I'm not there yet. I've got about 30 more years to go before I turn that kind of age. But I would do more things. I would pay it forward. I would mentor. I would be a good dad, good grandfather, good spouse, good friend, and really perfect those skills, because those skills can then have an impact on another person's life.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't know if this fits the same bill, but one thing, like you say, as far as things that you would do differently, I remember a long time ago, my father used to tell me, he said, man, if I knew then what I know now, things would have been different, because you would have changed different courses in your life. Like one of the main things that he told me, and, I didn't take heed to it, but now that I'm older and I tell my kids the same thing now, I would have got an education in school. I would have grinded more in school, probably would have been able to enhance my sports career if I would have paid attention in school and things of that nature. So I agree with what you're saying, man. Some of the things that your choices, it probably just would have been different if I had to do it all over again. And those were some wise people. And another thing that they saw, Curt, they saw the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
There you go. There you go. They were there for it. That's right.
Yeah, they was there for the World Series of the Chicago Cubs, man. So, Curt, what do you see as the major challenge for salespeople in the next 5 years?
That's a great question, CJ. I think a lot of the challenges are going to come with this whole AI, artificial intelligence. A lot of people are afraid of that technology replacing the salesperson. And in the next 5 years, I can't even begin to tell you what's going to happen. I wouldn't have thought Elon Musk would have just gotten a payout package of $56 billion. So things go crazy. I see technology helping the consumer get the information quicker, but I also see sales pros, if they're still relational, there's got to be a relationship, because an AI generated computer doesn't see your facial expression, doesn't see you cross your arms, doesn't see you looking off into the distance. You're not paying attention. So I would say that you've got to get better at relationship skills, better at question asking, better at being able to tie the value of whatever you're selling to the return on investment that the person will be receiving. Now, that's within the next 60 months. After that, there's nobody's going to know what's going to look like.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, especially, my son, he going to kiddie college right now, right? So he's in his classes. So I say, well, what y'all do today? He say, the Geek Squad was there. And I say, well, what y'all work on? He say, hey, we was doing AI. I say, man, that's the thing right there, especially for somebody his age, at age 13, whatever, because like you say, who knows where it's going to go? With Apple buying, with Apple into it now, with OpenAI now, it's going to be all on the Apple phones and everything. Because I didn't know the value of it myself, in the beginning. I had it, but didn't know the value. And I was telling him, I said, man, it's incredible.
Yeah.
like, and it gets to know. So yeah, man, ain't no telling where this thing gonna go. But I hope, like you say, people that's in sales, because you do need that human form. You do need that face to face. And so what this does, as I was listening to you say, what this does is it sharpens your tools and letting them know that these are the things that you need to work on in order to compete with something, saying, of this nature. Because like I worked in the casino industry for 20 years, right, Curt? And in the casino industry, I don't know if you ever been in the casino, something they have computer, like if you go to Vegas, they got like a computer, crap table and things of that nature. So they have always been trying to get rid of the human form, but it's always a need for us too, because it only goes so much, or it malfunctions.
But what happens when they replace your blackjack dealer with a robot?
That's what I'm saying. That's what they were trying to do. They've been trying to do this for the longest. I worked at a candy factory not too long, probably about 6 years ago, and they was trying to do the same things. They've been working on technology to try to put, because you work line work, and so they trying to use robots to actually replace you, but they hadn't fixed the kinks and everything yet. But it don't mean that they won't. But these are the things that years in advance that they already trying to prepare to replace you with.
Agreed. Yeah, and maybe in the next 5 years, once those robots get a little bit more the ability to screw, touch, twist their arms and stuff, then that's going to cause some of those other line work to be looked at seriously. But I could replace a human with a robot. They cost less. They never go down. They don't ask for time off. And you have robots building robots.
Yeah.
Well, frightening.
It is. You better get on this sales peak strategy and learn how to make you so extra income for, like you said earlier, for retirement, because we might be retiring sooner than we want to.
Exactly. Not by choice.
Hey, so to end this off, Kirk, man, I got one more question. So, Kirk, who motivates the motivator?
Who motivates the motivator? I got a band of brothers, and these band of brothers are guys in the same industry: sales, management, marketing, speaking. We get together about once a month. And as iron sharpens iron, one person sharpens another. So that's how the motivators get motivated and stay motivated. I get with a group of guys, and we just we don't try to jockey for alpha position. Mm-hmm. We're celebrating each other's ideas and celebrating each other's wins, and that's what motivates the motivator.
Man, that's a good strategy to have. Something like you said, iron sharpens iron, and when we're not competing against each other but want to see each other succeed, that's the best route to go. But unfortunately, everybody don't have that type of support, because, as you probably endured too, sometimes there's some little haters out there that don't want to see you get.
I think isn't there some kind of a young woman who wrote a song about haters gonna hate? Yeah. Well, shout out to Taylor Swift there. Yeah.
That's what they gonna do, man.
But you got to shake it off, right? That's what she says. You got to shake it off.
You got to shake it off, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Kirk, man, I appreciate you coming. Oh, so is there anything else that you have on the horizons right now that we can look forward to? How can we follow? How can we find you on social media? Anything of that nature, man?
You bet. LinkedIn, my last name, Tueffert. There's only one of me. The website, peaksalesstrategy.com. All the information on the coaching is there. And I love to pay it forward. So if you've got listeners who've got an idea and a question, or they're just stuck, shoot me an email. I'd be more than happy to chat with you and see if we can help each other out.
Oh, man, appreciate it. I might send you a chat myself. You know what I'm saying? I get stuck quite a bit. But so, man, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. I appreciate you giving us your wisdom and understanding and your expertise, the things that you do, man. So I wish you nothing but great success. And hopefully another Stevie Award is in the future, man.
Thank you so much, CJ.
Hey, you have been listening to the CJ Moneyway Show with my man, Curt. He gave you all his media outlets. Check out Peak
Peak sales strategy.
Peak sales strategy. Check it out, man. My man Curt got a lot of knowledge. He want to pay it forward. See what he has to say, man. This is your boy CJ Moneyway. I'm out of here.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret? With Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell whatever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/try to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/try.
People are driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. The hiring process can be slow and overwhelming. Simplify hiring with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform. With over 350 million global monthly visitors according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. That's Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Terms and conditions apply.